Hi guys, John here, Mr. Forex Fire. So many of you know I've been involved with a lot of different things inside the Discord, bring things to you. I've never really dabbled in the currency strength stuff, which is fantastic. And I know a lot of people are having great success with it. So I thought I would have a little play around with it this afternoon and record a few things while I'm doing it. So again, I'm totally blind to this. I know it's a fantastic strategy, and there's other things that goes into it a lot more in depth, which Andy knows a far lot more than what I do, and he has fantastic success with it. So I'm going to have a little bit of mess around with it, and I thought why not go ahead and sort of document what I'm doing, what I'm looking at, and why am I messing about with things, okay? Again, as always, I'm doing this as a bit of a, not so much a forward test, but it's just to have a little mess around, which we do encourage everybody to do in the group, especially on this currency strength. It can be very, very good for you if you can understand the movements and document your moves every 15 minutes from just before the market open, as Andy shows you in the video area training area. Okay, so I'm gonna sort of show my screen, and I'm gonna have a little bit of a mess around and see where we are. Okay, so I'm going to share the screen and we'll have a little chat on the stuff that we're looking at. Okay, so let's have a look. Let's maximize this. So this morning I had a little play around. Okay, I didn't catch the pip train. I was up a little bit late because I was doing a school run. But saying that, I had a look at the currency strength, and based upon it, I was going in on with the euro, and I think it was the NZD. And I caught a few pips earlier on. This here on the bottom right, it's an account guardian. So you can put in the parameters. There'll be more on this in coming weeks with it. Okay, so if you're going for something on a year-based thing, you can put parameters on here. So it'll protect your account if it goes to a certain percent and drawdown. It'll stop everything for that particular day. Or if you grab so much percent in profit, it'll do the same, okay? But stuff working on upon with this. But the preference of what I was wanting to do, I was wanting to sort of have a little go at this for the first time, try and have a proper little go at it. I've had a little look at it before, but I want to have a little go at it. And based upon the things that I'm seeing in my current state of play with it, because again, I'm not 100%. I don't profess to be excellent at every aspect of trading. You know, I'm learning just as much as the next person. But if I can sort of have a little dabble in it, we'll see where we go with it. Okay, so I'm just going to share my screen once again. So this was at 8 a.m. Okay, this was just after 10. There was a few pips here caught, but around about £12 in profit of dollars. Again, you can see here the equity, which was $17, and the balance was just so. I was using the exit manager with this as well. Okay, and then we ended up around about 25 as I recorded there. However, I ended up with about, when I closed it just after the session, I ended up with about 45 Great British pounds in profit. Okay, now I'm right back underneath my 50k starting balance, and that's just simply because I'm getting in early on a few things. Okay, again, it's all bunched up on here, but I can make out what this is. I can see that if I just open that right up, I can see that the euro is the smallest. I don't need to know what's going on with this. Okay, this is for more when you get more advanced into it. You just need to know these currency strengths. So I know it's early. I know it's a little bit earlier than what you would normally do on the New York. I've already had a chat with Andy, but I'm going to have a look at trying to get in a little bit more earlier, just to see what happens. And again, this isn't about getting everything spot on. It's about having a little bit of a mess around and trying to give you the confidence to do the same, okay? Because after all, you can't do any harm doing these things on demo, right? And then we can just see where we end up. NZD's been pretty strong nearly all morning, going into the afternoon. The Swiss franc has moved a bit in the last couple of hours up and down, but these two here have I've had a little chat with him, and he's just told me to have a look at these two pairs, the GBP and the euro. So I'm going to put these in on a sell. So we'll just click back on the windows. Okay. Now the exit manager, okay, you can see the managers on and all these. The exit manager that I have on, I'm going to show you the parameters that I have set. So what I want to do is go on to the euros on there. Go on to, let's have a couple of euro pairs. So the euro, Swiss franc, have I got that one in at the moment? Yes, I have. Euro odd. Right, so I've got a template mixed up. It's called Fire. Okay, so the euro odd, what we're looking at is the odd's pretty strong. The euro is very, very weak. So I want to sell the euro. Okay, I'm just going to put in a conservative 0.20. I'm just going to click sell. Okay. Now, when that's opened up, what I've been generally practicing with, I'll just move stop loss. Okay, I'm moving the stop loss generally around about 30 to 40 pips. Okay, allows the market to breathe. And then I'm going to pull the take profit at around about 60 pips. Okay, there or thereabouts. Now, you don't have to go for these targets because you can simply just put on the exit manager. Okay, and in here we just do enable alerts, allow live trading, allow DLL imports, go to inputs. I'll go to load. I've got a challenge. Now, what I've been doing on here is, you can see on this, I've got it set for the currency strength. I've got it set as, when we go to 15 pips, I'm looking to move the stop loss to break even, which is +3. We get the 10 pips. I want to close out partial of the profit. So I want to close out, in this instance, a 0.05 of the profit, and then the rest will run free. And then I want to put a trailing stop loss of 15 pips. Okay. So I'm just going to load that onto there, and you'll see the magic smiley face comes on the top. So now that's running. Let's have a look. Let's click back onto here. You can see I'm -30 in drawdown. Okay. That doesn't bother me simply because I've got a protection on here. I'm looking to gain around about 1.5% on an account. Okay. If we go into 3% drawdown, this will just close everything out. Okay. Something we need to be practicing with on this, because obviously using things on challenges and things like that, I'll possibly be happy to go for maybe try and do an account on 1% a day. But at the same time, close it out if it goes to 1% of a failure. So it's like 1-to-1 sort of thing. Again, all of these, once they go into so much of profit, these will start moving. And at the moment, the account is around about 30 quid down. Again, this is a demo. I'm just forward testing on this sort of stuff. Go back onto here. We'll check the euro, GBP. I don't want to try and pick any euros if that can help. I want to go for the British pound ones, to be fair. So I want to sell off the GBP odd. I want to sell off the GBP odd. GBP. Let's get the right one, John. Put in my template. Right, the reason you're hearing that noise is because there's got to be a certain pair on my trading. It must be that one. It's a razor file, I think it is. You don't need to know much more on that. So let's have a look. We'll go to sell. There we are. That's the right one. Right. So now I'm going to maximize this. Okay. I'm just going to do the same thing. I've got my SL. I'm going to have around about 30, just over 30 pips. Take profit. I want as around about 60 pips, I was saying. And again, using the exit manager, it might not go that far simply because it could go into profit. It could close so much of it out. And then what might happen is it could come back to sort of hit the stop loss as the trailing stops moved. Okay. So just to verify, we've got the 15 pips to break even. I want to move it to 3 pips above the break even. The profit level, I want to take a partial when it hits a 10 pip profit of 0.05. Trailing stop of 15 pips. And you click OK. Smile face on. Right, so let's have a look again. GBP NZD. See if I've got that on. I think I might have. GBP NZD. No, I don't. So we'll try and find that pair as well. GBP NZD. There it is there. Look at it here. Do the fire template. The fire template is just my colors. And I have got a pair on there, so that's all right. Open this back up. GBP Swiss franc. Get this open back in. GBP Swiss. So GBP Swiss franc. It's a US dollar. Again, click on the fire. And our GBP Swiss franc, the GBP is weak, and I want to sell it against. That's the wrong file. I've got that many on here. GBP Swiss franc, GBP Swiss franc. Must be up the top of here. Probably got the wrong one again. I have. No, where's it at? There it is. Go to template, go to fire. I want to sell that. Again, stop loss. Practicing with around about 30 pips. Take profit. Practicing with around about 50 to 60 pips. Okay. And then I'm wanting to move the exit manager over. Go to common. Make sure I've got allow on DLL imports and import of external experts. Enable alerts, allow live trading. And then I'm just going to click load. I've named a set to the challenge one. And the set file is 15 pips to break even. Move the stop loss to 3 pips above when this happens. When we go to 10 pips, I'm going to take a partial off before the pips to break even is closed. So to 0.05 and the trailing stop's 15 pips. Click OK. And there we have it, guys. I've got numerous trades open there. I'm going to leave that as is. Okay. There's a Swiss franc moving back down. The odds getting pretty strong. Again, I'm doing this before the 1 o'clock to 1:30. I'm going to see where it goes with this. Not bothered if it sort of feels. Again, I need to do videos like this so you guys can see the sort of things that we do. I like to try and add a few extra things on there. So I like to see I've got this Guardian on here at the moment, and it's sort of protecting the account. So if it does flush out a lot of sort of negative bad pips, when it gets to, I do believe 2 or 3%, I've got it, it'll just shut everything down. It closes all the charts, all the trades. The exit manager on the other side, however, if we go into 10 pips of profit on anything, it's going to close a 0.05 out and it's going to bank those pips. Okay. And then when it goes to 15 pips, what's going to happen is it's going to move the SL to just above break even with a 15 pip trailing stop loss. Okay. So just remember at this moment in time, there's nothing hit the 10 pips at the moment. There's one just about to, but we are on just over £45 of profit. Okay. One's just about to hit the 10 pips here. It's on 8 pips at the moment. See if that goes to 10 pips. There's 10 pips there. And then you can see that's the Euro Swiss franc. I can make that out. It's a Euro Swiss franc. It's gone down from a 0.10. It's closed half of it out. So this has now gone on to a 0.05. The SL hasn't moved at this stage until it goes to 15 pips. Okay. So you'll see there we went from £45 up to £48.80. And then now it's gone up to £51.29. So we must have hit 10 pips on something else. It's slowly banking those pips. But again, we get to a certain level, it's going to take partial, but it's going to continue on until it gets to a certain other length and parameter. And then what's going to happen is it's going to move the SL to just above break even. Okay. The Euro order, let's just take a look at the Euro order at the moment, which is this one. We can say here that's actually done that. We're now in a risk-free trade on this. Okay. So now that'll be running free. Is there anything else? The Euro Swiss franc. That looks as if it's doing the same. It certainly is. That's in a risk-free trade now. As you can see here, the stop loss has just come below. Or has it? No, that's trailing. It's trailing just behind there. So yeah, there we are. It's in a risk-free trade now. Any others? Let's take a look. We've done the GBP. We've done the Euro ord, GBP ord. Nope. So we're starting to get some movements. We're now up to £53. This was on 41 or 45 earlier. I'm going to pause the video from there. We'll see where we end up heading into the afternoon. See if we can grab some more pips and some more profits. Again, testing this. So it takes all the hard work and hardship out of everything else for you guys. It's great what Andy's doing with the currency strength. Okay. I'm just trying to add 2 more factors into this with what we do. One is trying to find a baseline structure point where you can possibly use the exit manager to get in and get out, and grab some bits of profit. Okay. And the other one is an account, what we would call an account protection, so it protects your capital overall. So you can put something layered upon the top of that, which if, let's say, for instance, you were doing a funded challenge and you only wanted to risk 1% of your whole account for the day, you could overlay this here where it would stay on the top. And as soon as you lost 1% of your whole account, it would just close everything out, if that makes sense. But on the other side, you could have it so if it went into profit and you took 1% of profit on that day, or 1.5% or 2% profit, whatever percent profit you wanted to push for, when it hit that side of the fence, it would do the same. Just trying to bring the best of everything to what we already have in the group. I'm just going to share the screen one more time, just so we can see where we are. Okay. So we're on 53.68. We started this at around about 41 or 45. Just as a rundown, let's have a look at the GBP NZD. This is in drawdown at the moment. It'll probably close out if it closes out. We'll be in drawdown on that. We go back. We'll try each one that we're looking at. Right. So now we'll have a look at the NZD. That's in drawdown as well. Euro NZD. That's coming towards a risk-free trade or thereabouts. that's trailing the stop loss with it. We've got the NZD card. Did we look at that? Yeah, we did, because that's in drawdown. Euro Swiss franc, risk-free. Card Swiss franc. It's starting to pull back from where we were selling from. Euro odd, risk-free trade. GBP odd. This might come back and stop us out. British pound, Swiss franc, we only just ended. So yeah, guys, again, this is not here to be perfect. It's here to test. It's here to show you what I'm testing. And the more people we have test things like this, the more we can get faster results and be able to find a common ground on what we need to do to be able to push forward. Okay. So at the moment, I've got the exit manager on some of these, and I'm trying to do a baseline test of 30 pips of stop loss to a trailing stop and a movement to, if it goes into 10 pips of profit based upon the strength, where if the strength indicator is doing well and there is a push on the strength indicator, we should easily be able to get a lot of these getting 10 pips where we can take a partial. And then if it pushes further past 10 pips, we should then be able to move that stop loss past the break even, if that makes sense to you. Again, I'm going to let this run, see where we are. Overall, equity wise, we are going below the 50k starting point. However, again, we've got certain parameters which will protect things on here. Overall, it did go up to around about £53 of profit from 45 or 41 this morning. I'm going to pause the video. We'll be back in a short while. All right, so having a little further look into this, we can see we're starting to head towards -5 at the moment. However, the Swiss franc is starting to get a little bit weaker. And I know that looks a little bit messed up and jumbled up, but I can make out what it's supposed to be. I'm used to it now. From there, start off just over 40 odd quid profit from this morning, 53 now on the demo. Starting to see some pip movements. Let's take a look. Some of these should be in take profits now, to be fair. Some of these SLs should have moved into above just break even, one or two of them at least. Let's have a look. 16 pips, 15 pips profit. Just going to let the screen run for a bit, and we're just going to see what happens with this. One of them looks as if it's making a run for it, to be fair. Keep an eye on what's going on the bottom here. But at the same time, I'm just going to move this up to here. Move this to here. Okay. Let's move that back up there. Solid. Let's have a look. See, even though I've got some in drawdown, we can see the equity it's got us below the 50k starting point. The pips are in a plus. The overall balance where we were from this morning, it has took some pips and some profit from this afternoon. The Guardian, which protects the account, we're in a net loss of minus 0.16, 1.7. I've got that set to a profit. If I go into 1.5% profit for the day, it'll close everything out. Again, the maximum daily drawdown and the maximum equity, I've got at 3%. From there, the general consistency, what I'm looking at is a 30 or just over 30 pip stop loss area of containment, okay? Because by the time a few of these will move, to be fair, that's quite a bit of a stop loss. But with that in mind, I've got a 15 pips trailing stop loss. So as everything moves from the start, the stop loss is going to move as well. Okay, so the higher or better it goes into profit, then the stop loss is going to move with it in conjunction with it. Okay, and then when we get 10 pips of profit, it's going to close out at 0.05. When it goes to 15 pips of profit, it's supposed to move the stop loss just above the break even plus 3 pips. Okay, I can see the Euro NZD, where are we at, which is this one. That's in some nice profit at the moment. You can see on here, if it comes to close out back on here, it's around about £6.30 a profit it will close out on. If we go down to the target, it's going to be around about £16.51 a profit. Okay, I could see that, make that out from within here. The Euro odd, which was another one. Again, that's in a risk-free trade. Comes back, it's going to go at £25.59 of profit to bank. If it hits our target, which is around about a 60 pip target, it's going to make us 50, just over 50 quid. Okay, and again, I've done nothing special with these. I've just factored in using the exit manager alongside the Argo Guardian, which is an account protector, and I'm just testing them forward, testing something, seeing how we go with it. Again, never let that side of things put you off, because that's going to run with your emotions. You should never look at that side of things when you're looking at the trading, because when you see that moving up and down quickly, it's going to put you off. Trust in what the tools do. Practice as much as you can as well. I mean, Andy's put this together. It was fantastic on the currency strength. And it's all about just seeing what works best for yourself, to be fair. Find your edge. And that's the thing that's going to make you profitable. Okay, your confidence and your consistency all comes with practice. It all comes with drawing your charts up. Okay, the more you do that, your confidence is going to come. Okay, your consistency comes with when you're practicing, you're starting to see things. Okay, and consistency can be one of many things. When you start drawing things up and seeing things on the charts that you've never seen before, you're able to then, when you look at a naked chart, you'll just be able to go flick a switch and you'll be able to see things on the charts before you even draw them. Okay, so now we're starting to see the movements coming into play. The equity's back into a bonus. Okay, we're starting to see some fast movements. And again, I'm not being greedy. I've gone for the conservative 50 to 60 pips of movement based upon the currency strength. So we're just going to hang fire. I'll be quiet for a second. You're going to see me messing around the screen for a bit and just take in the stuff that you see. I'm just going to go run through the different things. This one's coming back towards the break even. It's going to be 144. If that one closes out. The one that we were interested in, let's have a look at the profit side. The Euro odd, which was this one. Just about to stop out. We'll see if that closes out. Keep an eye. When it closes out, you'll see this jump up in profit as well. I've got a feeling it's going to go back and close out on the. And again, I'm setting the parameters. I'm not messing on with them. It's just what I've said, 15 pip trailing stop loss. Move to break even plus 3 pips when it goes to 20 pips, I think it was. We'll see if the structure holds or if it's going to close it out. 53.68 at the moment is what we're on. Let's have a look. That's something else I was looking at. Starting to push down a bit more again. Fantastic. That 15 pip trailing stop loss is holding okay at the moment. We'll go back to the main chart. We've also got that's the Euro or the GBP NZD. We can find that one, bring that one up. We haven't quite moved into the profits GBP NZD. That's coming in more or less 10 pips of profit soon. So that should go down to 0.45. There's one just moved. GBP odd. See the GBP, was it the GBP odd or the Euro odd? It's GBP odd. Just see what I was on. 42 pips of profit at the moment. Like I say, guys, I mean, I'm this way of trading. I've not got fully into. It's something I want to get a bit more involved with, if I'm honest with you, amongst other stuff. But again, I don't mind coming on doing videos and forward testing. Someone's just closed out there because it just went from 40 or 50 pips down. You know, we see there we went from 50 odd pound, now 62 pound profit for the day. Let's have a look. Again, even with what's on at the moment on the minus 30 odd pound, we're still 20 odd pound in profit for the day. And again, even if it's a pound in profit by the end of this, it's still profit for me. It's, you know, even though it's demo, a profit is a profit, and it's a baseline test on this. We want to see some more push if we can. Let's take another look at the strength. So I've got the NZD on there, the GBP. So I have got everything as is on the currency strength, apart from the Swiss franc on a couple. Let's have a look. Is there any on the Swiss franc still left? Taking a hit in the Swiss franc here and the Swiss franc here. Like I say, I'll pick me cherries. I'm going to keep them there until something happens with them. We'll see how the baseline goes with it. See if it holds its. I can close that one out actually because we can see there's nothing on there now. So the Euro NZD has done what it's needed to do. All the others have their lines on them. £62 of profit so far. See what's going on in the group. Andy's fell on the floor all day. Must be on about the euro. Yeah, the euro has been. The euro is really weak at the moment. There's no surprise with that. Let's have a look. Just going to stop the share a minute, guys, because I've got a message through from Andy as well. I just want to see what he's. Let's have a look. Sorry about that, guys. I'm just replying back to Andy at the moment. Let's take a look. I just need to get the video back on. Let's take a look. Minimize that. Get that back on. Share the screen. Now we're back. Let's have a look. 62.34 profit. So I've done too well, to be fair. So just go back on what I've done this morning. I started this off. I come to the table late. Okay. I didn't enter the pip train like what many others were doing, but based upon the currency strength and the teachings that Andy sort of tells you in the YouTube. If you are not already in there, you need to go to on here, okay, where we are, getting started on the video training ADR, getting started. Andy's got some YouTube videos on here explaining the different things on there. Got the MT4 files, how to use it, strength meter. You know, he's got all manner of things in here on how to use it. And then the chat is obviously, you know where that is. But based upon that and the stuff that I've read through, which I haven't gone through it all fully, if I'm honest, but I've been able to implement it this morning, even though I didn't hit the pip train, what everybody else was doing. At the time and the currency that it was based upon, I was able to jump on a bit the back end of the euro, and I forget which other pair it was. And I grabbed about 40 odd pound of profit going into just before dinner time. I closed everything off, had about an hour or so of break, had some dinner, and then decided to jump in. Yeah, I think I might have jumped the gun a little bit too early, but it doesn't matter because I started about 40 odd pound of profit. It's now 60 odd now, albeit, yes, if I close out now, I'm going to be only 10 or 15 pound of the goods. But this is a forward test on things, what I'm doing and what I've learned. And I'm just, like I say, I'm just like anybody else on this, pressing buttons and seeing what happens. I'm going to let this ride until about 3 o'clock, I think. I'm going to pause the video in a minute. I'm going to see if this comes a bit more into play. And the overall results, they don't scare me, they don't bother me, and I'm not getting emotional about it because I've got so many EE and parameters in place where, one, it's protecting an account to a certain loss or a certain hit or profit I want for the day. Two, this is the very first time I've hit those buttons based upon the exit manager. Nobody's tested it with that yet. So I've just put in a basic 30 pip stop loss to a 60 pip gain, and then brought in the parameters of a trailing stop loss to a move to break even to a take partial. And it's about forward testing, and that's what I'm doing. Okay. And I'll come back at a roundabouts here just before 3 o'clock, let you see the results. Just bear in mind before I go off camera, okay, set this, I did it, and I was at 40 odd pound of profit. It's now residing. It's took some profits off the table. It's grew it to 64. Yes, as I shut the video, it will be around about 15 pound in profit if it was all to close out. Okay, we'll see where we are when I come back in a short while. I'll see you just after 3 o'clock. Doesn't matter what happens at 3 o'clock. I'm closing it down because I've got a school run to do. What it is, and that's just based upon what I can do on my day-to-day stuff on here. Okay, so again, if you want to forward test this on how I'm doing it today, make notes on the video of what I've done today, and then take it into next week and practice with doing it. Okay, just take notes of what I've done with the exit manager, and then place that on top of the trades that you take as well. So at this moment, I'm going to pause the video and we'll be back in a little while. Right, so I thought I would just jump on because the Euro odd has done what it's needed to do. The GBP odd has done. I'm left basically with around about 1, 2, 3 GPNZD. I'm left with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pairs. We went up to 84 pound of profit. However, those pairs now are where it's minus, it's eaten into 25 pound. But again, we started with 0, which was a 50k balance. We'll see what this is going to be the outcome of. We've got some trailing stops as it stands. There is, looking at this, I've got 4 of these do have an SL where they can go to and close out. One of them has a trailing stop based on it at the moment, which is the Euro Chef. The Euro Chef, if it was to close out, it would only be $1.47. It would add to the balance. Again, we'll see where we're going to end with this. Let's have a look. Just seeing what any messages have come into here. Right. Euro is still it's been weak, very, very weak since this war started, which is Obviously, it's going to happen. The NZD's been pretty strong all day. Just to go back on things, let's just open this up. Again, 15 pips, 2 pips on NZD USD. The euro, it looks like the euro Swiss franc. Let's take a look. Euro Swiss franc, this one here. This is the one. I want this to tank down, because if it tanks down, it's going to give us around about 20 odd whatever profit. I'll tell you what I will do, because this won't make much difference, to be fair. If I move the stop loss, not the stop loss, the take profit to 100 pips, okay, or thereabouts. If it goes down to that and it doesn't come back, sort of hit the trail and stop loss, there's a good chance to get about 40 quid out of that, to be fair. So when it comes, in my opinion, when it comes to moving things around, never mess around with the stop loss on these, because it's going to mess up your exit manager. When you're in sort of profit and you've got the stop loss to a risk-free trade, you can bring the take profit further away from that, if that makes sense, because the more that, and especially in this occasion, the more as the euro Swiss franc is going to tank, okay, and it doesn't go back 15 pips to knock us out on that take profit or on that stop loss of risk-free, as long as it keeps tanking and it stays within a 15 pip gap, we can get any amount of take profits off this. It just moves with the exit manager, you know. From that, now we're starting to see it come back into play of a floating equity of around about £40. The balance where it has been banging it, we've banked just over £84 of profit today, but there's a floating equity profit to loss at the moment. We want some of these negative orange balances start to turn blue. That's what we want to see. We start seeing some of these turn blue, we should start seeing some good profits coming into play, to be fair. So I'm just having a quick geek around at the different screens, because there's so many, to be fair. Let's have a look. So the one that's holding for us at the moment is the euro Swiss franc. The NZD USD is starting to go under a little bit of profit, as we can see. Let's take that for a 4 hour. Just want to have a quick look at some stuff. We'll go to a daily. And again, I haven't picked any structure point with the take profits. I'm just going on the bias of what the strength meter has been telling us. So NZD USD, I'll take that back down to 1 hour. Okay, NZD USD, NZD USD. The USD starting to gain a bit of strength from where it was before. NZD's been pretty strong all day, to be fair. Euro just been on the floor all day. At the moment, we're profit loss equity floating around about £30 mark. Again, start this on a straight 50k. Banking with the exit manager's got up to around about just over £84. We're floating. And again, this is a forward test based upon the parameters of what I'm doing. And just to talk through what the exit manager set at, I've got it at 15 pip, trailing pip stop. Okay. I've got it at 10 pips. I want to take a 0.05 profit off the table. I think what I want to do is possibly increase that in the next round. Probably take out the 0.10 when it gets to 10 pips. When it gets to 15 pips, I want the SL to be just above break even. And so far, the test for me for the first round is pretty good, to be fair. Okay, I'll pause the video. We'll be back in a short while. We've jumped up from this morning's takings from 40 odd pound. We've doubled it up to 84, but the profit loss equity is floating up and down. So we are taking a bit of a hit on what we've banked so far today. But even so, it's still above the 50k marker, which is what counts. That's the main aim. The main goal is to end the session. And if we end the session above the 50k and in profit, especially on an NFP day, this just gives a bit more confidence, and I might start doing a couple of more of these going into next week as well. But I want to see where we end up the day on this. Okay, we are floating under the 50k now, but we'll see where we end up at the end of this session. I'll be back in a moment. Sometimes
just. Bitches in the back looking righteous. In a tight dress, I think I might just. Bitches in the back looking righteous. In a tight dress, I think I might just. Hit her with a little biggie 101. I told her done. And have fun with your Megan. One conversation, once in rotation. On that big job, got the doc in the face that was smoking. Drinking, got the hook of drinking. The money smelled bad, and this nigga big is stinking. Is it my charm? I got the hook of beating out my palm. She grabbed my arm and said, let's be calm. I'm getting skins again. Hold up another blunt for the Heineken. Niggas fucking hell out of shit. Got some top clothes or so. Hold up another blunt. Blunts in rotation. Bitches in the back looking righteous. In a tight dress, I think I might just. Hit her with a little biggie 101. I told her done. And have fun with your Megan. One conversation. Blunts in rotation. My man Big John got the doc in his place that was smoking. Drinking, got the hook of drinking. The money smelled bad, and this nigga big is stinking. Bitches in the back. Blunts in rotation. Blunts in rotation. Bitches in the back. Blunts in rotation. Blunts in rotation. Bitches in the back. Blunts in rotation. Blunts in rotation. Bitches in the back. Blunts in rotation. Blunts in rotation. Smoking, drinking, got the hook of drinking. The money smell bad, and this nigga big is stinking. Smoking, drinking, got the hook of drinking. The money smell bad, and this nigga big is stinking.
Same old story back again. She's not a lover, she's just a friend. I'm sick and tired for you to blame on me. And now you think it's funny. Now you wanna spend your money. Girls, but you forgot when you were down that I was around. Call my love, hang up, call again. What in the world is happening? Listen me, but don't yell at me. Isn't it ironic? All you wanna do is look funny. Boy, when you forgot when you were down, who was around?
All right, guys, just a little bit of music on there while I was messing on with something. Hopefully it's coming through all right on the sound. I'm not sure if it has. It might be a bit crackly, to be fair. Just saves me having to talk on the video all the time while I'm watching for stuff. Just thought I would have the video on there. Seen on the here and the guys in the currency strength. Some guys having some fantastic results on here. Trevor, I asked him if he's been in on it since this morning. Said it was about an hour and a half ago. Look at those results. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. From there, my personal results, again, I must admit, since I started what we've been doing here in the Fight Discord and growing it and knowing Andy all this time, I've never went full in on the currency strength. I knew the power of it. That's certainly no doubt. But I've never dipped my toes into it properly, if that makes sense. So now we have the things like the exit manager, the account manager, which is this here as well. There'll be more spoke about on that as well, on how you can implement that as well. We're trying in this group, it's all about sharing. Okay, knowledge is power, and there's power in numbers in what we do together. Okay, this is not a high ticket cost area. What we do, we all, like I say, on this ethos, there we are. We learn together, we trade together, and we win together. Okay, there's many other groups I've been part of where I brought that concept in with that, and they still use that concept to this day. They still copy what I say. They even still copy some of the stuff that I do in those groups. Things with the whole strategy, they just call it a different thing, which is an indicator and daft things like that. But that was all of my past. Moving forward, I found that the more people that you surround yourself with, and the more that you sort of talk with one another, where it's not like a rank, a bit like this IM Academy or IML, where it's rank orientated. Everybody starts from the same starting block, in my opinion. Everybody sharing the wealth, sharing the knowledge. Everybody moves forward at the same pace. Okay, guys. And that was the purpose of building this group. For me personally, from what I've done today on this, started that 50K account. Again, I'm trying to put things in place from the bits and pieces that I know to try and put some sort of foundation block where we've got that foundation block, but then we can put currency strength on there. And I'm trying to see what would work from my aspect. Okay. And if I can get a foundation like that and get someone to carbon copy it in the process, then they can do the same from their end and practice doing the same thing. Started the account with a straightforward 50K. This afternoon, just before dinner, when I broke everything up, I was on about 40 odd pound of profit. At the moment, the exit manager is doing what it needs to do. It's banked 90 odd pound of profit at the moment. I've gone back into market based on the euro, based upon what we've been seeing on here. I've read in the group, this is the power of the group. We can see what's moving. I'm seeing what's moving on here anyway. But again, I'm getting confirmation from other people of what they're doing inside the group. Okay. So when I seen this and I seen what sort of things everybody was bagging here and seeing the euro was still on the floor, you've seen while the music was playing there, I've jumped back into a couple of trades on the euro. It's banked us up to 90 odd pound of profit. Now it's moving. We're on a floating equity at the moment of around about 75 to 76 pound. Okay. And again, even if this crashes and it goes to just one solitary pound over the 50K, it's not a loss in my opinion, because we started with nothing. We started with a ground level of 50K. Whatever this closes out at from when I get to, I did see 3 o'clock. I'm going to give it another hour. I'm going to close it out with 3 o'clock because that's the time allowance that I can give to the chart, if that makes sense, before I will get onto a school run. So I'm going to let this play out, see where we are. I'm not going to enter anything else. Keep it as it is. Let these run. I've got the Euro JPY. I'm just going to check on that a minute. Euro JPY is getting pretty strong at the minute. I might re-enter on that, to be fair. So if we get in on a sell there, stop loss of around about 30 odd pips, have the take profit. Doesn't matter where I put this take profit, because we are factoring in this exit manager. Okay, so I'm putting that in. I want to run the exit manager, make sure I've got all DLL imports done, and the same with all external, enable, allow, live trading. And then I'm going to load my challenge set file. That challenge set file, for one more time, it's pips to break even, 15 pips. Pips above the break even, once it's done that, is 3 pips of profit. Take profit before it even gets to the 15 pips. So when I get the 10 pips of profit, I want to take a little bit off that tail. Okay. So I'm going to take, in this instance, it says 0.5. I'm going to up that to a 0.10 on the Euro JPY, because I've got a 0.2 running. Okay. Trailing stop. So whenever the price moves, the 15 pip stop loss is going to move with it all the time. Okay. So I'm just going to OK that. OK that. And then that's running on this. Okay. Now we're going back down into, we're banked some more profit, to be fair, there as well. We're now up to 103 of profit, but the equity floating is still around about 70 odd pound. Having fun with this today, if I'm honest with you. There's nothing sort of complicated about it. It's like, as Andy says in his training, when you go to the getting started, watch through that. It is what it is. Watch through what it is, and just practice hitting the buy and the sell buttons based upon whatever the strength is on this just before market opens. It is best, as Andy shows you in the videos, take screenshots every 15 minutes on these. See what are the movers, what are the shakers, what are staying as strength, what is staying as weakness, and base your cross pairs upon that. Simple process. It's all I've done today. We've now went up to 103 profits, so something must have been banked again. Just going to let it run. I'm going to come back. The next time I come on, it will be at 3 o'clock. Okay. So I'm going to pause the video. I'll be back within the hour. Just going to go and have a cup of tea, watch a bit of the news before I head out for the school run. I will be closing this off at 3 o'clock. But I hope you're enjoying this video. This isn't a how to do it video. This is me showing you what I'm doing for the first time, and me properly going through it on the process of trying to set a foundation, if that makes sense. I hope it makes sense. So I will see you in a short while. Right, so progress report, we're coming up to 10 to 3. Okay. We've had the Euro NZD stop out with a little bit of profit, I do believe. Well, might have been a little bit of negative. Just do the screens. Let's have a look on this. The Euro is still tanking out. The JPY has gone to the strongest. I don't want to get into any more trades simply because it is Friday at NFP. We started the day off with 50k baseline. Okay, trying to introduce something where we can work upon a foundation of putting an exit manager on these, but not only an exit manager and account protection on there. We were from the morning to the afternoon, £45 of profit. We went up to £100 of profit banked, but again, we've hit some drawdown and it knocked us, as you can see on the bottom left, it's knocked us to just above £54 of profit. Still a little bit of profit from this morning's takings, but again, overall, it's £54 of profit altogether. If I was to close this out now, however, we would only be around about 28 to £30 in profit, but that is profit. That's a good sign because you can build upon that, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to take a quick look on this at the moment. Let's have a look. Just a look on things. So you'll notice on here, I've got several different types of pip counters. I've got a multiple one. It's condensed in because I'm using a Mac, and the graphic wise, it's just showing you, but you can see on the top, 12 pips of profit so far. This one here is another one that I use. On the bottom, it's an individual pip count for that particular pair. Okay. So what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to close out the ones that are in minus profit at the moment. Okay. So we've got, this is in a minus profit. So let's take a look. Let's go back. Ones that are in minus will close out. You'll see this dramatically drop. Okay, the balance side of things. So we're going to get rid. And I'm going to leave the ones that are in profit running, okay, if that makes sense. Simply because the ones that are in profit and running, so we can get rid of that, we can get rid of that, we can get rid of that. Now we can knock it down to just the two. The method of me madness with this is simply because we are in risk-free trade, if that makes sense. We're risk-free trade with these two now. So it makes sense to cut the losses at the 3 o'clock, okay? Let the others keep running. At the moment, because I've closed the others off, the overall balance is below 50k, but the floating profit equity is around about £45 of profit. We'll see where this one can, where these ones can take us, okay? What I'm going to do, because this is technically a risk-free, hover the mouse over there, I'm going to leave that as is on there. In fact, I tell you what, I'll move this towards 100 pips, okay? We'll go just shy of 100 pips. If that reaches down before the end of market close, it'll bring in £120, okay? We're going to have a look at the other one at the moment. Was it this one? So that was that. So I need to look at this one here. I've already got that at about 170 pips. It's not going to move that far. There's a trailing stop loss on both of these, okay? It just means that every 15 pips, the stop losses are moving with it. From there, guys, we're looking at the moment, even if these were to go back, let's just have a look. If these were to go back to stop loss, we're looking at £24.20 on the current risk-free stop loss at the minute, okay? So we're still going to be in profit no matter what. The lower one, it's only about £8 on profit. So no matter how we look at this, we are going to be in profit from the 50k we first started with, okay? I'm going to pause the video for now. And then from there, what I'm going to do is when I see these close out, or until the market close later on, if they're still running, I'll close it out before the market closes, and then I can finish off the video and post this up into the Discord for you guys to watch, okay? I've had fun putting it together. Just going to stop the share a minute so I can have a little chat to you. So let's have a look. Maximize. So at the moment, again, well, my preferences started this group about a year and a bit ago. Andy's been fantastic with what he does in here, doing the currency strength. I've never really been delving deep into it. However, I've seen the power of it, and because Friday is technically a day that I take off, okay, I take a Friday off all the time from doing the live trade calls and things like that. But I still go on the charts now and again to work upon different things. And I thought this Friday, have a little go of the currency strength, bring in the exit manager, which is something we've never tried. Okay. We have got the first step of what Andy's done, where he's built this, where he's brought this EE to our attention. And I do know the EE itself can be a little bit complicated to use as an auto trade system. So I thought, well, maybe we can bring in the exit manager and try and find a nice foundational level where we can put like a 20, 30 pip stop loss from when you enter, and have a trailing stop loss built upon that. But on top of that, have another EE, which is the Guardian one, where we can say, right, if we see, we don't swing for the fences. If we can get a 1% growth on that account, it just shuts everything down for the day. Again, because these challenges are challenges. If you say we want to risk a 1% of the account, if it was to go against you and it hit the 1% for the day, then it would just close your account for that day. So trying to build upon things, trying to make things structurally easier to use, trying to make things a little bit more accessible, if that makes sense. So again, there is a lot of stuff inside of the Discord. There is a lot of stuff that goes on. But one thing you have to remember, this is not a high-end ticket cost group, okay? We learn together, we trade together, we win together. You learn at your own pace. You don't need to rush into something to rush into something else. All these things on here are there for you to be able to practice with at your own pace and your own level. Okay. Inside of the group, we have all the chats. We have the beginner chat, the intermediate chat, and the advanced chat. You just need to put your questions relevant to that section's area inside of that chat. Okay. Because we all learn together. Okay. And like I say, that's the ethos of what I build myself around. There's other groups copy off what I do, and other groups still use my saying to this day. And I'll always say you build upon your confidence, your consistency, and your profitability. Okay. This in the EE in itself with the currency strength, it's to get you confident and pushing those buttons to see how the price flows. And when you're getting the confidence in doing that, you're building your consistency up, because then you're driving yourself forward to be able to do something that you wouldn't normally otherwise do. You're starting to learn the process of how things work with these cross pairs and things like that. And when you've got your confidence and consistency, we can layer that down with trying to put down the framework and the foundations of these other EAs, the exit manager, or even the guardian to protect your account, and go further forward and build the next foundation stepping block to be able to attain a profitability level, if that makes sense. Okay. So before we go, or before I pause here, just going to share the screen. Again, the guys have been seeing some great success. Andy himself took 500 pips on this. It's fantastic. Let's take a look. I'm not going to close these out because they are in good profit. I want to put for sure. Let's take a look. I do want to put the pip counter there. So what I've got the individual pip counters, and then I've got the overall pip counter. Okay. Risk-free trades, as these move down, so too will the SLs. So too will the SL move with the profits. So we'll see at the minute that's again that was that's moved to £10, the £11 profit. This one has moved to 20.24. So again, even if them come back to hit those levels, there's about 30 odd quid of profit. We'll be standing at around about 20 to 30 quid of profit overall. That's a worst case scenario. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that because this is a first time test, baseline test from what I'm doing. But pause the video. I'll leave my computer to run, and one or two things. I'll close this out with a conclusion once both the trades either end, or I'll do an end of conclusion as the markets close if these two trades are still pushing on for more profit. Okay, guys, it's been a fantastic session today. Thoroughly enjoyed it. It's something new for me, something extra to put in my bow of weaponry to be able to grab some pips and things like that. And again, having that baseline test, maybe we can scale it a bit by introducing a few more sort of bigger lot sizes as opposed to what we did on the baseline, because the profitability's been there for sure. Maybe if we increase the lot size a little bit, we will see few more bits of pounds or dollars getting added to the account. Just going to pause it, and I'll be back with an end of conclusion in a while. Right, guys, so that's the end of the NFP session. A great way to test this, to be fair, considering one, I haven't heavily getting involved with the currency strength stuff just yet. Two, incorporating something we've never tried with it before, which is the exit manager. Three, there's the account protector as well. And then four, again, it's been on the NFP there. So as you can see, these are now closed out. I'll just close them out, put that on there. And then from there, overall, we started with a 50K account. It did go in excess of 100. Okay. It came back down and it's closed all the trades out today at just over £50 of profit. Let's have a look. You can see all of them there, all the different trades that were taken. It was all EU and NZDs today. I got in late as well. Just remember, fresh account, first trade taken this morning. Again, guys, I've I got in late at the party. I wasn't on the pip train, as we call it on here. Andy's done very well at 500 pips. I've just basically got in where I could. I used the exit manager, and the basis of what I did was I had my structure as 20 to 25 to 30 pips of stop loss. Okay. It doesn't matter where you put your take profit. You can put your take profit at 200 pips if you want to, because basically all you're doing is you're putting in the exit manager, and the exit manager, as soon as it goes to 10 pips of profit, it's closing a partial of the trade. Instead of going half of the trade, I only did a quarter or so of the trade. So as soon as it was in 10 pips of profit, it was closing around about a quarter of the trade. As soon as it was in 15 pips of profit, it moved DSL to 3 pips above the break even. But as the trade was moving, okay, as soon as there was 15 pips of movement, it's moving a trail and stop as well. So based upon the first day, which is NFP, and the first day of me ever really trying to trade this and looking for it, we have ended the day in £50 of profit. Again, I used minimal lot sizes, to be fair, and going on the conjunction of the 2 ETAs, which was the exit manager. Just spoke about that and how well it does and what it's been doing. It's done all this. And then the second one is another one which I'll talk more about in the group in the coming days or the coming weeks, where it's a guardian tool. So if you're using something that's based upon a funded challenge, you can put the risk parameters in, so you can say, all right, I want to edge to get towards 1.5% profit for the day, but I don't want to risk more than 1% of my account. So as soon as one of them parameters is met, it closes everything off for you. So it's a very good self-automated system. So overall, guys, as we finish that session there, £50 of profit for me, based upon the of I've never really getting involved in heavily too much in the currency strength. So it's hopefully this comes across from me to you to say, like, get your confidence in using this. It's all about just pressing a few buttons and see what works for you. Again, from there, set a foundation and parameter that's going to work for you and find your edge using this tool. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have any further questions or queries, if you can do, just put it inside of the advanced. In fact, put it inside of I'll show you where to put it. If you have anything you want to chat about, put it inside the area where Andy does these ADR stuff. Put it inside the currency strength chat area. Okay, I'll also drop this video inside of that area, inside the chat thing for you guys to watch later on, and I'll also put on the announcements area. But for now, I hope you have had a fantastic week. The fire trades are doing fantastically well. Just to go on to that, I wasn't trading today and calling the live trades. We've started the month with 100% win rate so far, 180 pip count on there. Overall, guys, just to close this out on the main, it's around about 82% strike rate on this at the moment. Since the back end of December, I've called around about 1,650 pips. The January was 540 pip count, 82% profit on that month. February was 850 pips with an 88% strike rate. And so far, so good for the month of March. We've got 100 pips. Okay. So again, watch this video through, take a few notes. Again, I'm not an expert on this. I don't profess to be, but again, if I can do something and learn something from it and share that experience, I don't mind doing a video, getting in front of the camera, show my ugly Geordie mug and showing you what I've been doing and what I've been looking at. So I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have any questions, just drop it inside of the video ADR and then the currency strength chat inside of here, guys. Okay, I'll see you all later. Bye.